Hey, this is DayTradeReport.com. We're playing around with USDebtClock.org. It's May 13th, 2020, 20:49 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm trying to calculate it out how much we will truly add to the U.S. national debt based off of the currency and credit derivatives number, which is the true number of the U.S. national debt, which the Federal Reserve, the United States does not technically own, is actually creating in true currency throughout the world. This has to do with the International Monetary Fund, the European Central Bank, the Japanese Central Bank, the Chinese Central Bank, all these national banks that all the governments have, Spain, Argentina, Brazil, etc. This is how much the true fiat currency of the world has gone up in the past 60 days. It has gone up over $6 trillion. That's how much new fiat currency has been printed in the world. What I'm trying to do is to say, I suppose, that the U.S. national debt is really at 31 trillion, and if we've gone up 6 trillion in just 2 months, that means we go up 3 trillion every month for the next 6 months. I guess you could add 18 trillion to the U.S. national debt, which would put us at over 41 trillion dollars technically on the 21st, January 1st, 2021. It's an astounding figure. So basically, I want you to look at the U.S. national debt clock here on May 13th, 2020. I want to compare it to this one. The Social Security liability 2 months ago was 20 trillion. It has now gone up $100 billion. That's how much the liability has gone up for Social Security. Medicare liabilities were 31.5. It is now at 31 almost 7. So that has gone up $200 billion. Total U.S. unfunded liabilities, March 24th, 2020 was $132 trillion. It is now $147 trillion. How could that have gone up 15 trillion? U.S. unfunded liabilities on the 24th of March was at $132 trillion. It is now 147. Have U.S. unfunded liabilities have gone up $15 trillion from $408,000 per citizen to $447,000. So the average citizen has spent $40,000 in just 2 months that they didn't have. That's an interesting calculation as well. Average citizen has spent $20,000 a month they didn't have, and that the federal government spent for them. If it has gone up that much, $20,000 a month, imagine when the federal government starts spending $30,000 a month per citizen. Or even $50,000 a month per citizen. If they're already spending $20,000 a month, imagine that the federal government could have sent every U.S. citizen a check for $20,000 for each month for the past 2 months. If that money would have gone directly to citizens as opposed to corporate bank accounts. Imagine that. That is an unbelievable figure. That the U.S. federal government could have sent every single citizen $20,000 instead of to any other entity, but actually directly to the citizens. These bailouts are literally bailouts for financial institutions. Otherwise, every U.S. citizen would have gotten $20,000 checks for the past 2 months if we were to cut all other spending, which is insane to think about. How much money it costs just to operate this whole thing when you could literally just give everybody $20,000 a month. That's if we were to reverse this from pure capitalism, which it really truly is, to pure communism. Every single American would be making $240,000 a year if you were to totally invert where all the income actually goes. Every U.S. citizen would technically earn $240,000 a year. I don't know. That's an interesting calculation. I'm trying to play around with this, different ways to look at it. If you have any comments on how you view U.S. debt clock in terms of socioeconomic, political, judicial, etc. If you were to play around with these numbers and you were to do universal basic income, if there was a true 100% universal, if there was a true 100% UBI universal basic income, every single citizen would make $20,000 a month if they were to redistribute profits equally to every single citizen. And there was no such thing as billionaires. Every single person in America would make $240,000 a year. It sounds like a good deal to me. I would assume we would also have to completely go to some type of digital system where every single U.S. citizen has to get an app. Wouldn't that be crazy? It would totally flatten all of society if everybody was to get a smartphone and an app, and you would immediately begin earning $20,000 a month. And no one could earn more than $20,000 a month, and no one would earn less than $20,000 a month. Essentially, you would eliminate billionaires and millionaires from reporting any income over $240,000 a month, $240,000 a year. Wouldn't that be nuts? Because there are people right now earning, $3 million a month. And imagine if they could only make $20,000 a month, everybody else in America could also make $20,000 a month if we were to redistribute daily income numbers. Because that's what essentially is happening here with the Federal Reserve. This was liability per citizen. So liability per citizen went from 408,000 to 448,000 in 2 months. That's what the Federal Reserve has done. They have spent. This is not just the Federal Reserve. This is I think you could call that the combination between the U.S. federal government and the Federal Reserve. But because it's tying in social, Medicare, and total unfunded liabilities, it's really a government institution. And as Powell said, that is a question for your representatives to decide in terms of taxation and spending. So the federal government has spent $20,000 a month. They're the ones who write the checks to the corporations. So I think it would be an interesting proposal to limit daily income to $20,000. No one is permitted to make, more than $20,000 a month. That would flatten the curve. So $20,000 a month divided by 30 days. No one is allowed to make more than $666 a day. Strange number, huh? In America. No American can earn more. Daily income restriction. $666 a day. It's illegal to earn more than $660 to save to earn. And I think you'd have to extend that over to brokerage accounts, and savings and checking accounts for interest. It would be crazy, wouldn't it? That would be really interesting. I think it's an interesting hypothesis that it's illegal to earn more than $666 a day. If we were to do that, and I guess that also means you can't spend more than $666 a day, or you can. I guess you can if you have it, but you are not allowed to add more than $666 a day to your total net worth per day. Net worth, daily income cap, daily addition or income, 666 per day. So Federal Reserve has basically screwed every American's dream of becoming a millionaire, and what is it? They're spending $20,000 a month. It would only take you 50 months to become a millionaire. So this is how economics is really working. if and finance is really working. If you go to usdebtclock.org and also